Brianna Titone could make history in Colorado.
She is seeking to become the first openly transgender member of the state legislature. Political specialist Sean Boyd live at the Capitol tonight with her story. Sean.
Karen, Brianna Titone is among a record number of gay and transgender candidates nationwide. That includes Congressman Jared Polis, the first openly gay man to run for governor of Colorado. The so-called rainbow wave comes amid efforts by the White House and some state legislatures to roll back equal protections. But Titone told me her candidacy is about much more than her identity.
So yeah, I just want to come by and introduce myself.
Democratic candidate for House District 27, Brianna Titone has an impressive resume. Firefighter, geologist, software developer.
A little bit about me.
And the first openly transgender person to run for state office.
I think that, having someone like me be part of the legislature where people may not accept me and to be their colleague, I think is an important step.
While she recognizes the historic nature of her candidacy, she says that's not what she's focused on.
My job as a candidate is to talk about the issues. And education funding is the #1 issue that people are talking about. Also transportation funding. I have a lot of knowledge that really comes to the table, and I want to use those skills. I think that people will see me as someone who really wants to work together with people, and they're just going to forget about the fact, and not play identity politics.
But while she's not making an issue of her identity, others are. She admits there is still a lot of intolerance.
Some private messages that people send me on Facebook are horrible, but I get a lot of people coming up to me, being inspired by me. And that really fuels me to get up early and stay up late and, work really hard to win this election.
Now, House District 27 leans conservative, so Titone will have an uphill battle. She's running against Republican Vicki Pine, a mom and small business owner who served on several community boards. Live at the Capitol, Sean Boyd covering Colorado First.